We've got a short session now with Amiqus leader Liz Prince. Liz will be talking about how to maintain progress against it during an EDI backlash. Please welcome Liz.
Thank you, Pierre. That was absolutely amazing. And I kind of wish I'd spoken before Pierre, because I feel as though I'm the sort of slightly depressing voice and he's the really uplifting one. So I haven't got any slides. I've literally got a 10-minute little slot. So I hope you don't mind if I'll just whiz through some thoughts. Oh, we've got this horrid changeover. Hello. Cool. So hi, my name's Liz Prince. I head up a specialist games recruitment business called Amiqus. I'm the founder of G Gaming, which is an initiative that we launched in 2018 to look at the desperate position that we had on the pipeline of, well, no women coming into the industry. I'm also the co-founder, alongside Dom Shaw and Yuki's Raise the Game, of an Empower Up platform. It's an EDI set of resources, and hopefully you'll take a look at that. So EDI is pretty much at the heart of everything that I do in my professional life. I've been a woman in the games industry for almost 20 years now. And right now I'm a mixed bag of sadness, of anger, of concern, mostly around this sort of real world backlash against EDI and the sort of negative perception that we seem to have about what it means to be woke. So I just thought it might be useful to spend a little bit of time to reflect on that today, understand where we are, have a think about what we can do to try and maintain our progress in the EDI work that we're all doing, but against that backdrop. So for me, I guess this recent trend against EDI, it seems to be promoted and fueled by a number of significant and yet influential figures. And it just generally raises a lot of important questions about the values that we uphold. Because, like, to be awake to social injustice and issues, and to have compassion, we talked about compassion this morning in a session, how can that be an insult? Who wants to be on the other side of that spectrum? There's obviously not just one individual reason that we're seeing this backlash at the moment. Politics has, of course, played a huge role. We've seen a rise in the far right across many nations, often fueled and emboldened by a feeling of injustice amongst the populations who are facing a lot of economic difficulties. And that's definitely led to populist politicians using divisive rhetoric. I'm looking at you, Nigel Farage, going into the jungle and trying to look like a really great guy. Social media is, of course, a really powerful force in spreading misinformation and extremist views. So-called influencers like the dreadful and dangerous Andrew Tate are playing a significant role in suggesting that EDI initiatives are discriminatory against white men, or that these initiatives are promoting that woke agenda, and it undermines traditional values. And let's not forget Elon Musk using his own platform to and his influence to suggest that EDI is not merely immoral but illegal. In the corporate world, the economic downturn has obviously played a significant part in fueling that EDI backlash. When times are tough, and again, this was raised this morning, when times are tough, there can be a tendency to focus on short-term gains, cost-cutting measures, rather than the long-term investments in EDI. And that can lead to a perception that EDI initiatives are some sort of unnecessary luxury, or that they maybe divert resources from more commercially focused projects. These are some of the issues that we're facing as people professionals, as well as individuals who care strongly about equity, inclusion, and belonging in the workplace and life in general. So why should we continue to strive? Well, Obviously, first and foremost, embracing equity, diversity, and inclusion aligns with ethical imperatives that transcend those corporate boardrooms and social rhetoric. Our world is a rich landscape of cultures, backgrounds, and perspectives. It's through the celebration and embracing of our different experiences that we foster a more empathetic and understanding global community. By creating environments that champion diversity, we not only honour the dignity of every individual, but also lay the groundwork for a more just and equitable society. From a business standpoint, the advantages of promoting EDI are undeniable. Countless studies have constantly demonstrated that diverse teams outperform homogenous ones. For instance, companies with high racial diversity are 35% more likely to have the financial returns above the industry mean. Inclusive companies are 1.7 times more likely to be innovation leaders, and varied perspectives breed innovation, creativity, and problem-solving approaches that are essential in today's rapidly evolving market landscape. And boy, do we need those now. Organizations that embrace diversity cultivate a stronger connection with a diverse customer base, so enhancing their ability to understand and meet the needs of a broad range of customers and service users. We also know that inclusive workplace culture has been linked to higher employee engagement, improved retention rates, and better working relationships. Inclusive teams make better business decisions twice as fast, and diverse companies are 70% more likely to capture new markets. When individuals from different backgrounds are valued and included, they are more likely to contribute their best work. Just listening to Pierre talk about unmasking, it means so much, I think. EDI just can't be a tick box on a studio to-do list. It's an integral component of sustainable and impactful business practices and remains a crucial ethical imperative. So how do we try and continue our work? As someone said earlier, convincing C-suite execs and leaders of the importance of EDI can be really challenging right now, especially given our current climate. Typically, we see success from framing EDI initiatives in terms of those business outcomes, rather than focusing solely on the moral or ethical benefits of EDI. Kira Chan, who some of you might know, spoke to the UK EDI group last week about her success in implementing inclusive and compassionate people-led policies, but that were business-focused and business-led, which sounded like a perfect combination to me. So she was talking to us about the benefits of policies such as unlimited leave and self-care days, and then they were evidenced through data around the reduction in the days lost through sickness absence and presenteeism. And it just resulted in greater productivity when they looked at their data. And they were a pre-revenue studio who needed to really maintain that high velocity production schedule. So it made absolute, ROI sense to all of the business leaders, as well as being a huge, huge benefit to the team. People-centric policies can be low cost and simple to implement, but they result in increased innovation, improved talent acquisition and retention, and enhanced customer satisfaction. On Empower Up, we've got lots of ideas around policies and around some things that you can have a look at. If you feel that you just want somewhere to start or somewhere to think about, please head there and start that journey and have a look. One of the other things that we've seen a lot of success with is identifying allies within the key stakeholders of the studios. Just having someone there to help in advocating through influence. By working together, you can create a much more powerful and effective coalition. And please don't forget about the external networks of support from our wider industry organizations like Women in Games, Outmaking Games, and Raise the Game, lots of games, for sharing great ideas. At the same time, talking to team members about the benefits of D&I is so important, maybe through training sessions or workshops or other initiatives. And we've seen some really interesting mentoring that's been established around studios that aren't just helpful with career progression, but also potentially for putting people together who may not otherwise have socially or naturally aligned or got to know each other within the studio. If everyone understands, even theoretically, the importance of EDI, employees are more likely to support and participate in the initiatives. If those from underrepresented groups are willing, ask them to lead the conversation. I was listening to Sandy Toksvig, I can never say her name properly. She was on Woman's Hour this week talking about her latest book. And she was just advocating and encouraging people to listen. And her phrase was, because you just can't know what it's like to be a marginalized person if you've never experienced that yourself. So let's make sure that we listen and understand fully the impact that we have on one another and the impact of the policies that we implement and the behaviors that we encourage in our businesses. To sum up, those advocating against EDI fail to acknowledge the profound benefits of a diverse and inclusive workforce. While it's important to recognize the right to express diverging viewpoints, it's equally critical to assess the implications of those positions, particularly when they run counter to ethical practices and well-documented benefits. Such stances can cause clear and knowing harm to those who lose out when EDI is not prioritized. As we navigate the current complexities that we experience, we need to keep standing up. We need to stay resilient and push back in a robust and nuanced way. It's essential that we all continue to champion the foundational principles of empathy, understanding, and progress, especially as the games industry comes out of this huge period of change. Let's not go backwards. Embracing EDI isn't just a moral obligation, it's a strategic imperative that propels us towards a more innovative, resilient, and harmonious future. Let's continue to build our world where voices are heard equitably, that lesser heard perspectives are valued, and every individual and community is empowered to thrive. Thank you.